First and Now is the official podcast of the BC Lions. Matt Baker alongside Nick Kowalski. Episode 156. We were talking about that. Doesn't seem that long. We're year 5 into doing this little venture, are we not?
50. I'm going into my 5th season, and I feel like a BC resident by now. Mm-hmm. How many years are you with the club now?
According to my LinkedIn, okay. I've had my 10-year anniversary.
Oh, officially?
Yeah. I thought it was early March when I started in 2016, but maybe not.
I think I've told this story several times on the podcast or just in passing, but my first week working as a BC Lions employee was Michael Riley's last week working as a BC Lions employee, so kind of got thrown into the fire with that. But it just shows that there's no shortage of off-season news when you get that question. What do you do in the off-season? Oh, you work on Michael Riley's retirement. You film Rick Campbell's presser announcing that Nathan Rourke is going to be the guy moving forward. So there's always stuff going on, and it makes it fly by because 2.5 months until training camp?
I think I saw a graphic this week that we're 100 days out from the regular season opener. Yep. Is it Montreal Hamilton playing at Thursday nighter, playing at Hamilton Stadium? So. It's funny you mentioned that, though. One of the busy off-season projects we're going to get to just momentarily here is Touchdown Kelowna. Some exciting announcements and some ticket news for this week. If you're on the fence about going, get off it, because these tickets are going to go like hotcakes come Thursday morning. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned, remember that time Michael calls it a great BC Lion, great individual, and a future Hall of Famer. I would imagine that happens sooner rather than later. That's no inside info. That's just me forecasting it in the next couple of years, you'd think. But yeah, that day, remember Rick Campbell anointed Nathan Rourke the starter right away, and a lot of people were kind of like, huh? And now we know that everybody kind of knew something.
Yeah, we got to old takes expose those people and go back.
Yes. There's a good off-season project if we get one of these BCIT interns here in the next couple months. Do a little freezing cold takes.
When we did the mean tweets with Nathan in December this past off-season, or a couple months ago.
Christmas time,
a lot of those comments were compiled from 2024 when things weren't going so well for Nathan.
Out of the blue,
So, and people were having their own opinions that they... definitely miscalculated because Nathan is obviously on top of the CFL now. So, but it just shows you everything can change, right?
Yeah, and talking to Buck Pierce the other day, getting ready for training camp, going over some things that we're going to be doing in Kamloops. That's going to be here before we know it. The expectation internally anyway is that Nathan Rourke will get even higher. He'll just keep ascending, and coming off his MOP season, and the BC Lions as a team looking to take that next step to get back to the Grey Cup. So close to doing it on a cold November day in Regina, but we're moving forward. We have a jam-packed episode. We're going to talk about some key additions, some key signings. First chance that you're on here in the last few weeks. San Francisco was good, looked like a good time.
Yeah, and I drove back up through the Oregon coast. Yeah. And unbelievable. That is my favorite part of that country in terms of the climate, geographical of that. I can't say enough good things about Oregon, but San Fran was successful. We talked to Jelani Tavai and Moj
saw that
Tavai jersey. So a lot of CFL connections there. Obviously Cooper Kupp with Vernon Adams Jr. Patrice Rene was roommates with Chaz Surratt, a Seahawks linebacker. So there's always cool angles, right? And that's what I like about the CFL NFL world. This 1 degree of separation, right? And Moj always does a great job of digging out all those angles. Although I will take some credit, I did find the Matt Collins angle while on the plane there, because we do our research, right? And of course, Matt Collins played at North Carolina with Patrice Rene. So Patrice was the man of the hour when it comes to the CFL news out at Super Bowl week.
And that's great. That was a great week overall for everybody, for you guys. And yeah, kudos to the Moj and yourself, Mike Whittingham et al. For bringing all that content to the people. We're going to hear from Patrice Rene, get his thoughts on starting another season. We're going to devote a large chunk of this week's episode to our great school programs, and more on those as we go along here, whether it's Be More Than a Bystander, Energy Champions, Team Up to End Racism. The BC Lions are champions in the community. That is not debatable. And we'll hear from Patrice and James Butler, also back He's got his contract done with the squad ahead of the free agency period opening. So we'll talk a little football with those guys and delve into their commitments and giving back to the community is such a great part of what makes those guys in particular great BC Lions. Nathan Rourke, of course, himself, a big spokesman for the Be More Than a Bystander program, among others during his time with the organization. But before we do all that, we talked about it, Touchdown Kelowna. It will be June 27th and July 4th, 2 big games. First of all, at the Apple Bowl, Calgary and Edmonton, 2 big divisional clashes. Talking to Buck Pierce, like I said the other day, a big emphasis this year is going to be on starting better. Remember this team, 2-5, 3-5 was it? And a 6-game winning streak to earn second place in a home playoff date. There's going to be talk about exploding out of the gates, but as it pertains to Touchdown Kelowna, presented by Okanagan College, yes, a big contingent from the organization were up there earlier this week. Okanagan College, the presenting sponsor of the 2-game venture, will of course call the campus home in between the 2 games. It'll kind of like be another week or so of camp life. That's what I kind of like about it. And it'll be a great few days to be up there in and around the Canada Day long weekend. Can't beat Kelowna in the summer. And the buzz is kicking off big time here.
Yeah, and that's something I witnessed firsthand last week. I was up in Kelowna with Patrice Rene and Sean White doing school visits, but we also do pub visits and obviously talk to teachers, principals, people in the community. And that's what people are talking about, right? Tickets go on sale on February 26th, and Kelowna residents are gearing up for it. I can tell you firsthand. They're saying, we're so excited that the BC Lions are coming here for 2 games. We've had schools submit letters to the players, entailing how excited they are for the Lions to be up here in Kelowna for over a week during the summer weekend, like you said, and over July long. So it's going to be great. And, there's so many good programs going on too. Also was told that, the Okanagan Sun had a pre-sale going on for the Touchdown Kelowna tickets. And not only did it, not only was that a success, but it also drove up the ticket sales for Okanagan, the Sun, the junior team that Jacob Bond played for. Credit to the Sun,
big time, yeah.
So there's a direct impact there of, how the football community in Kelowna is having a positive impact too from this news, the Lions being involved in this, and the city is obviously involved in supporting this adventure out to Kelowna that we're going to be having in the regular season. And it's exciting. It's just exciting to, venture off into new areas of British Columbia, and, been here for 5 years now, and I think we've almost hit every single area, right? Yeah. Victoria, Langford, Kamloops. I've been with the guys up to Prince George, so it's really cool to see that this is BC's team. Yeah,
and I'm glad you mentioned the Okanagan Sun. Shout out to Eric Stansfield, the long time ago was the BC Lions public relations, media relations director in about the late 90s. Eric, an old colleague of mine at the radio station. He's now on the board with the Okanagan Sun, and he's been spearheading a lot of their involvement. And you say it all goes hand in hand to our commitment to growing the game, growing the sport, and giving back to football at the grassroots level. We should remind folks, Thursday morning, the 26th, 10 o'clock a.m., single game tickets will be on sale. The pre-sales, if it's any indication, moving quickly. So again, if you're debating this, don't debate any longer. Be by your devices at 10 a.m. on Thursday, because if our previous special games in Victoria and Langford have been any indication, these are going to sell out very quickly. With our newly announced party zone, I know where I want to be if I wasn't working these games. Tickets starting at $50. The expanded Apple Bowl, I think we're aiming for about, 17,000 seats before all is said and done. Thursday, February 26th, single game tickets for Touchdown Kelowna. Don't wait, folks.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I've just been there a couple times now since we announced that we're playing these games in Kelowna, and it's just the city has a buzz. Also, one cool thing about Kelowna, the airport has been totally renovated. So
is that right?
Yeah, if you're flying in for these games, you will see that firsthand too.
Yeah, I can't say I've been inside the Kelowna airport in a very long time. Of course, it being a 4-hour drive. One of the nicest drives. There's just something when you drive up there, when you link up to Highway 97 in Peachland, seeing that Okanagan Lake for the first time,
scouting out the Okapogo.
Yeah, still haven't found them. Maybe that's a content idea. Let's take some new Lions who know nothing about the other parts of the province on a boat, and let's search for the Ogopogo.
Yeah, the DBs go searching.
Yeah, start storyboarding right now.
Love it. That has Stanley Berry written all over it.
BCLions.com, /touchdown Kelowna for all of your ticket information. All right, as mentioned, it's been a few weeks since we've both been on here. I spoke with General Manager Ryan Rigmaiden on the episode a couple of weeks back. You can check that out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. A lot of great information on the free agent process and some of the players that we've signed. A couple of them he talked about that we had to let go, unfortunately, comes hand in hand with the business. But starting recently, the morning we're recording this, Nick, some more veteran additions in the secondary, talking specifically about Jamal Parker. This is a playmaker who has about 32 games under his belt with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, was a key contributor in a team that went to Grey Cups in 2022 and 2023, has played safety and field side corner. So if it's any indication, talking about how this secondary is going to look, there's going to be plenty of veteran options come training camp.
Yeah, and I think heading into free agency, there were spots that were deemed wide open, right? Especially at halfback, right? You got a couple of returning guys now in Ronald Kent Jr. and TJ Lee is back under contract too, but the competition in the defensive secondary is going to be high now, right? A couple of veterans have been brought in. Jamal Parker, the most recent. And I've always liked Parker's game, right? We've kind of seen it firsthand playing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that he's kind of had a knack for making big plays against us. Scored a touchdown out here at BC Place last year.
The Mazzoli
backwards pass. Yeah. So Jamal also had an interception in that game. So I always like getting those guys on our side. It's also nice to just take Winnipeg guys, right? I know it was a big conversation point during free agency that the Bombers were able to secure arguably the top free agents in the CFL, and BC Lions left tackle Jarrell Broxton, and the battle continues, right? As both teams jockey in the West here. So, he's going to be a big addition. I think that's one of those under the radar pickups, and when he's healthy, he can make plays.
Another one of those guys just last week, Deontay Ruffin, formerly with the Montreal Alouettes and the Calgary Stampeders. And again, this was a Grey Cup champion in 2023 with Montreal. So again, not one of these guys who got signed right when the period opened or was in talks during the negotiation window, but yet another one, a guy who I think has played multiple positions before in Deontay Ruffin.
Yeah, and 5 interceptions with the Montreal Alouettes in 2024, obviously capping that off with that was the Toronto Argonauts Grey Cup year. So, but still a strong. That was when Montreal got first place in the East. So
yeah, he was 16-2 or whatever they were.
So he was a big part of that team. Is my point. So, and again, the guy that can compete at the halfback position. He has 46 CFL games under his belt. He's 27 years old, so kind of right in the prime of understanding the CFL game and also being at the peak of his athletic ability. So, come training camp, that's another one to keep an eye on. And I know people were talking about maybe the big fish weren't landed by the BC Lions, but these signings, they could be sneaky in my opinion, sneaky good.
Yeah, and we've talked on a previous episode about Darnell Sankey and about Casey Sales. If these players are signed at 9:01 on the Tuesday morning, everyone's talking about how great the BC Lions did on day one of free agency. The only difference is they were released ahead of the period by their respective former teams, and the Lions jumped on that right away. So hasn't been completely silent. I know fans will never be 100% satisfied, and that's fine. The term fan is short for fanatic after all. But I'm looking forward to seeing kind of a little bit of a tweak in the front seven with these guys we talked about. So other ones, you're talking about the day in itself. Maxime Royer, leader, special teams guy, CFLPA rep, a glue guy in that room. He was re-signed in his newly nationalized status. He's gone from global to national, of course, having played his university football with the McGill Redmen. So good to have Mad Max back. Should be a good special team addition here. Former Ottawa Red Black Dawson Pierre was added. Native of Quebec, was a draft pick of the Ottawa Red Blacks, appeared in 15 games, I think it was, over a couple of seasons. So have to be good on specials, have to have depth, have to have bodies ready in case of injury or inconsistent play. And I'm always intrigued by guys like Dawson Pierre because hasn't necessarily worked out with the team that drafted him, coming over to another organization, could that light a fire under a player like this?
Yeah, no, it's still a high draft pick too, right? Like for reference, Christophe Beaulieu was a third-round pick in the CFL draft, as was Dawson Pierre. So there's definitely talent in these young Canadian players. And like you said, we discovered last season that you can never have too many depth Canadian guys. With injuries last year, the team was forced to, sign guys like Anthony Bennett and Josh Haggerty, and literally days later have to dress them, right? Because you have to obviously dress a certain amount of Canadian special teams and all that. So you can never have too many depth Canadian players, and you never know what they can turn out to be as a full-time starter. So I like the move right here.
Absolutely. Everyone, again, we talked about Jarrell Broxton moving on and getting a nice payday from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And again, Ryan Rigmaiden stressing they made him a very competitive offer. More than competitive, would have been the highest paid tackle in the league. But ultimately, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers going all out to try to turn things around for 2026. But Isaiah Cage, who was out of football last year, had some experience with the Toronto Argonauts, a guy who's played the left tackle position before, I think. Could be wrong on that. Maybe a bit of a wild card here as they look to shuffle the deck. A guy like Corey Woodruff could move over to left tackle. Tyron Hunt, a guy who learned on the practice roster last year, of course. But Isaiah Cage brought in for some veteran addition.
Yeah, he is a veteran at that too, right? He's 32 years old. He's played in the CFL for a couple of years now, and you are right on that. Over the past 3 seasons with Toronto, we played 1,500 snaps and primarily at left tackle, pretty much all at left tackle. So has some experience there, and is just another name to add to this camp battle that's looming. And not even a camp battle, but like you said, how are they going to configure this offensive line with the loss of Jarrell Broxton, right? There's options now in camp, and that's all you could really ask for at this point. And guys like Corey Woodruff, 12 months ago, he was having to prove himself, right? And he obviously took that position at left guard and ran with it. And now we have a couple guys, like you said, at left tackle who can suit in there, and we'll see who runs with it.
Yeah, and always intriguing once the closer we get to camp to figure out some of these more quote-unquote unknown Americans, American rookies, technically they are. Well, the Lions signed another receiver with some NFL experience, Marquez Callaway. 11 games as a rookie with the New Orleans Saints in 2020. He played every game the following year and got some good reps there on offense. Almost 700 yards, 6 touchdowns on 46 receptions. Where does he fit in on this stacked group of receivers? That's anyone's guess, but if we've learned year after year, someone's going to surprise.
Yeah, and he's got to be a front runner, right? So you think 2 seasons ago with Travis Fulgham, kind of that same NFL pedigree. Yeah. And Travis, you could tell, he emerged to the top of the list to fill a starting spot in the receiving core. And you got to think Callaway's going to be able to do the same, right? So there's going to be a lot of competition. There's 12 to 20 first-year receivers brought in every single year, it feels like, and how big that group is when camp starts. But Callaway's got to look out for, and he's a name that we both know before the signing, right? Obviously with his NFL experience. So always nice to bring in those guys, right? It gets buzz, and that's what I like about bringing in Callaway.
Absolutely. And as far as the quarterbacks go, we discussed on the last episode, at least I did, that Chase Bryce was brought back. Rigmaiden admits, they tried hard to go with a veteran option behind Nathan Rourke. Guys like Trey Ford and Dustin Crum were talked about. Maybe Taylor Powell as well. But Chase Bryce is back, and another quarterback added to the roster, Giovanni McCoy, was the Jerry Rice FCS National Freshman of the Year award in 2022. He began his college career at Idaho in his first 3 years before transferring to Temple. So who knows? Everyone talks about developing that next quarterback. I mean, Chase Bryce was that guy in 2023 coming over, and he stuck it out on the roster or the practice roster at times ever since then. As it stands right now, Giovanni McCoy might get a chance to stick around. You assume the Lions will keep at least one other quarterback on the practice roster.
Yeah, and he's just 23 years old, right? So lots of time to develop.
He's a project, yes.
Yeah, lots of time to develop, and skill set seems pretty tailor-made to the CFL game, right? He spent 3 years out of Idaho, had a big 2022 season, but didn't really rush the ball that much. His high of rushing in Idaho was 188 rushing yards. But then, and when he went transferred to Oregon State, suddenly 328 rushing yards, almost doubling his career high in college, right? So seems pretty versatile. I'm interested to see what he looks like. Obviously, new quarterbacks are always fun to watch in camp, right? So it's nice to see a new, fresh name, and that's exactly what fans want, right? And Nathan Rourke's obviously the guy for now and the long-term future, but it's always nice developing quarterbacks, seeing what you have. It takes two in this league, right? We've learned that year after year, and it takes a full room actually when you talk about the game planning and scheming they all have to do as a group, but it's nice to have a new quarterback in the mix.
And the free agent camps in the U.S. still to come too, so perhaps another quarterback could come out of there. A couple of other Americans will be signed or at least added to the negotiation list. All right, Lions fans, we may not be back inside Save on Foods Field at BC Place until Week 8, but when we do return, there are a couple of exciting new ticketing options to take in all of the action, like our brand new Terrace Club. This exclusive club offers exceptional views and an amazing buffet-style dining experience in a lounge seating environment. Terrace Club memberships are available on a season-long basis. For more information, visit bclions.com/Terrace Club. That's TERRACE, not Jamie Terrace, for those who are wondering. Some exciting developments happening right here in our building. We'll talk about that. Also break down our exciting school programs coming up on First and Now. Back on First and Now, the official podcast of the BC Lions. And Nick, we're doing this at a good time. We don't hear any jackhammers or any other tools going down. I don't know if you've been down there since you came back into the facility, but the facility getting a much needed and a much welcomed transformation downstairs. We're getting an expanded locker room. We're getting a new kitchen, a new player lounge. There's more to this than just practicing, right? Guys want to be around. Guys, got to get their lift in. They've got to hang out and eat. And I know the nutrition was always talked about at various points. Some exciting news overall, and we encourage you to head to bclions.com. I spoke about it with Neil McAvoy. Yeah,
that's how I was obviously on vacation when this news came about. So that's reading your article and then the quotes from Neil is how I first kind of saw the renderings and got a glimpse of what's going to be happening downstairs. But it's exciting, right? And like you said, it's just expansion, having more room. The guys like to play Foursquare back in the day. Ping pong's the new big thing down there in the locker room.
Well, the drawings have a pool table. Did you catch that?
Yeah, so
that's what I'm looking for.
I'm sure that'll be a big extracurricular activity for the guys after practice. But yeah, like you said, just about hanging out in the facility, being comfortable, and just having raising the standard, right? That's what this is all about. And I'm really excited to see what it looks like. It's going to be great for us visually too, because we do the odd locker room piece, right? And really looking forward to the finished product there before the 2026 season.
And it's a credit to owner Amar Doman for investing in it. And we see the changes around Surrey here. There's construction everywhere, and I know there's talk about this land specifically being looked at for a possible bigger sports complex down the road. The moral of the story there is, if it's a temporary thing for only, 3-4 years maybe, all the more credit to him. So understanding what today's players want and need and expect as far as great amenities. And I'm very much looking forward to coming back from training camp and seeing how the finished design looks, so to speak.
Yeah, I think you're echoing the thoughts of about 100 different BC Lions football operation members that will be returning to that. So it's exciting stuff.
All right, we mentioned James Butler and Patrice Rene to join us here in succession in just a few minutes. And before we do that, quickly remind everyone what's going on out in the community. I know yourself and Jill and Tyler McMaster on the social media side have been out capturing a little bit of this. Our various school programs going on, and we've been all over the province. There was a Kelowna visit. There was a visit to Vancouver Island, Prince George at some point in here too. Of all these programs you've captured, Nick, each one has its own kind of exciting little twist, starting with our BC Lions Energy program. This one designed specifically for kids in kindergarten through grade 7. Environmental responsibility and being an energy champion are the focuses here.
Yeah, and that's one I actually documented last week in Kelowna with Patrice Rene and Sean White, and it's a cool presentation, right? It's really interactive.
It's more fun, right?
Yeah, like the players get the teachers involved too, which is a lot of fun. They play like cornhole and stuff like that against the kids, so that's a fun one too. And like you said, all three programs that are going on throughout the spring, we're documenting them quite well. I highly encourage you, if you're listening to this, to go to our YouTube page and check out. There's a Victoria trip recap with Nathan O'Rourke and Kieran Poisson. So you not only see the school visits and get a glimpse into what those entail, but you also see kind of the day in the life of a Nathan O'Rourke too. And that's the content we're trying to bring. Obviously, just showcasing all the good work our players are doing right with the other programs.
Yeah, and these are all very important, all have their own special messaging. Team Up to End Racism, focusing on confronting racism and embracing diversity and inclusion in BC. You know, a major pillar of the BC Lions brand is to build better communities, and focusing on these issues is a big part of it, as well as our Be More Than a Bystander, aiming to raise awareness regarding the impact of men's violence against women, gender-based violence, of course, a very big issue, not only in our province. In 2011, EVA BC, the Ending Violence Association, and the BC Lions partnered to form this program. It was groundbreaking, and it's only gotten bigger and bigger. Nathan O'Rourke, a big spokesman for it, and very important to deliver these messages in all the communities the club visits.
Yeah, and the BC government and BCMA are also behind the Be More Than a Bystander program, and it is something that when you become a BC Lions employee, you get briefed on this quite vigorously, right? Because it's a very important topic within this organization, and it's awesome that your star quarterback Nathan O'Rourke is someone who feels very strongly about this and wants to make a difference, right? And that's exactly what he's doing. So again, kind of wrapping this all up, if you go to our YouTube page, you'll see exactly that with Nathan O'Rourke and Kieran Poisson in Victoria.
And two excellent BC Lions club ambassadors you'll hear from coming up here. We'll start with running back James Butler on First and Now, just ahead. First and Now is the official BC Lions podcast, and earlier we were talking about the 156th episode. And this is a gentleman who's been on in a few of those, one of those early ones for sure, 2022, somewhere in there. It is BC Lions running back James Butler joining us, taking time out of his busy schedule. JB, how you doing?
Great. I'm excited. My hair was probably a lot shorter the last time we did that podcast, so that's good. My hair is getting long now.
I think were we talking about the grouse grind, I think, at one point? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Probably. I think you were doing your cold tubs and all that.
Yeah. What a time.
I know you got a lot of side quests.
Yeah. And now he's the wily veteran. He's out doing the community programs, which we will discuss. But JB, really, it's our first time to talk to you in this kind of setting since you put pen to paper on your 2-year contract extension. Safe to say it was always the goal to stay, and you're looking at this as unfinished business as well. Just talk about the excitement about being back here for at least 2 more years.
Yeah, 100%. I just think I always get this word wrong. Is it continuity?
Continuity. There you go.
Yeah. That one. I love that, and I've always loved BC. This is one of my favorite places in the world. Not even if I was even if I wasn't a football player, I think just British Columbia alone is one of the most beautiful places in the world. So to be able to be here another 2 more years and finally get an offseason in Canada. This is my first ever offseason in Canada. So this has been interesting too. So just excited about it. Just how we left last year, how last year ended I feel like it still leaves a bitter taste in all the guys' mouths, whoever I talk to still to this day. So we just know what we're capable of, and I'm excited to build off that and then, finish it this year for sure.
I met with Buck earlier this week for about an hour, just planning training camp and talking about all the things that we're going to get done, and he talked about the fact that going into year 2, last year it was a whole new coaching staff, a whole new offense with Nate and yourself. How advantageous is it, JB, that we're getting a second year of this system and there's maybe less adjustments to go around?
Yeah, I think it's great because I remember last year we had the little mini camp and we were all kind of like trying to wrap our heads around this new offense. And I guess I sometimes even forget that last year was our first year in that offense, how well we did, so I feel like even another year under it is only going to improve Nate, our O-line, receivers, running backs, defense. So I just think another year in Buck's system, like the sky's the limit for sure.
What about the continuity of the offense too, JB? Because obviously you're working beside a guy like Nate, but then you got Hatch is here long term, Justin, the offensive line up front, right? Mike, Corey, these guys are vets now. Like, talk about like just being with those guys. Like how encouraging is it to have that built in BC now?
It's nice. It's really nice because like. We know what all those guys are capable of. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are all superstars in their own right. And then I feel like even the O-line being back, RP my man Jarrell. But yeah, so it's just like it's just gonna be a great experience. I'm super excited about it. I feel like we're all really excited about it. Like I said, we all still got that bitter taste of how we ended last year. And we just know that this is finally the time that we can get over that hump, and this is the group to do it.
Baker off the top alluded to the fact that you have been participating in the school visits with the BC Lions this offseason. So specifically with the Be More Than a Bystander program, James, what specifically drew you to that program, and why is it important for you to be talking to kids about that program?
Yeah, for sure. I just think me personally, growing up a single mother, that we've dealt with gender-based violence in their own right. I won't get into all that, but then also having a sister, having nieces now, and growing up with a lot of cousins and aunts that mean a lot to me. And I feel like in the training, I didn't really understand like what it all meant, but actually getting out there in the field, speaking to kids, the kids coming up and asking questions, it really brought it even more so home for me how important this is and how much it's really needed in our communities.
Have you had I know there's some private conversations I'm sure you have with kids when you're out at schools, but is there anything you can reveal when it comes to, any special interactions you've had? It doesn't have to be the Be More Than a Bystander program either, because I know you're doing all three, but any special interactions come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like kids are just so innocent. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's like funny, but it's also like, come on, man. Like, I remember one kid was like, hey, like, if I say a certain word in a music video, am I still like a bad person? I'm like, yeah, like if you don't feel comfortable saying that word in front of your parents, your teachers, or maybe like some people outside of your friend group, you probably shouldn't be saying that. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's just an innocent kid, just so like, but I feel like it's only brought me closer to like the British Columbia community, being out, seeing these different schools. Like I saw one school, I saw a high school had a parkade. I've never seen a high school with a parkade. They had underground parking for the high school. It was just crazy. It was just so many cool schools, so much cool, like a lot of great kids out there. But yeah, it's fun.
And this is your first year doing these programs, because you said it was your first time staying here really in the off season, right? So
yeah,
does that kind of go with your kind of excitement of laying down some roots here in this province?
Yeah, 100%. I love it. And my girlfriend, she's Canadian, so obviously she was super excited. She's actually from Ontario, but she loves British Columbia. It was her first season out here with me this past year, and we're still out here right now. I brought my dog up here, so I feel like I'm really locked into Vancouver right now. I got my dog, my lady. But it's fun to do these school visits. It's interesting because I feel like it's like me and Kieran and Jackson, we're like the newbies, but like I feel like we usually get put up with like vets. Like sometimes I'm with Nate, sometimes with Patrice. And like, it's just so cool to like watch Nate or watch Patrice do them because, you know, they've done it for the last couple of years. And I'm still kind of new, but I try to tell the kids that like, hey, just so you know, if I stutter a little bit, I'm still getting nervous up here in front of you guys. So, but yeah, it's been fun doing these school visits for sure.
Is there an example from your own childhood maybe where a professional athlete came and talked to you, or was there anything like that you could build off, or no?
Nah, I wish we had more professional athletes come for assemblies. Our assemblies was always just like career assemblies. There was never athletes. That would have been super cool. Though. I wish we had that. That's really cool now to think about it. I guess I never put myself in those kids' shoes seeing like a professional athlete. Like I only saw professional athletes like if I like maybe snuck into a practice or something like that, or they were far away. But never no assemblies that we had professional athletes. That would have been cool.
Michael Jordan's coming to the school today, right?
Right? Like that'd be crazy. Like Thomas Jones is coming to talk to us or something.
You're out here for your first Canadian winter in Vancouver. Back me up here. It's not that bad out in Vancouver, right?
It is blessed out here in Vancouver because
easy, compared to the rest of the country,
I all my friends and family are back in Chicago, where it was probably, at least from afar, I can't tell, I wasn't there. It looked like one of the worst winters I've ever seen from afar, which I'm glad I'm experiencing from afar. But out here, I just have to get used to the rain. That was definitely not exciting. But I feel like lately it's been like raining, sunny, couple days rain, then the sun will pop out. So I think these Vancouver winters are a blessing.
There you go. I got to clip that because I like I'm a glass half full guy. So when it is sunny, like a day like today, we can see it in the background with you now. It is exactly like your mood is so good. You just want to be outside,
clear and crisp.
Like it's the best.
Hey, before, I know you got a big question you want to ask him, but if I could just jump in quickly.
Of course.
I remember I was talking to my mom one time about, I love going to Ottawa. I love going to Montreal for these road games. And I think I even said like about Ottawa, I could see, if I had to live there, I could see it. My mom was like, no, wait till you spend a winter there. And it's like, I guess that's a good point. So
yeah. For sure.
Hey, we got to end it off with the matcha, JB. So if anyone follows you on Instagram, they know that you're the matcha man, self-proclaimed, but I think it's
self-proclaimed.
Yeah, but it's your teammates are calling you that now. But explain to me, like, how did this whole start? And you know, like, what you feel so passionately about it. I know you're drinking it all the time, but where did this all come from? And you know, you're making it now. Just go into all that.
I just love matcha. It started from one TikTok video I saw. This dude was talking about like, coffee drinkers they do too much. They're too excited. They're too off the walls. But matcha, it's smoother. It's cleaner. I'm like, what is matcha? I've never even had it. To me, it was just like a green drink. But I had my first matcha from Starbucks. Didn't love it. But then I didn't hate it also. But then I kept going. And then the nice thing about Vancouver is so many coffee shops, so many different coffee shops. And then I started going like on a matcha world tour. Well, at least in Vancouver, at least a Canadian matcha world tour. And I probably tried at least like 12 or maybe even 12 to like 15 different cafes, matchas. And like now I'm like, because that's kind of an expensive habit, you know what I'm saying? Because each matcha, they started getting to like, some of them are like $7, those are the cheaper ones, but some of them get to like $10, almost $11. And like I said, I was going at least once or twice, at least maybe a day sometimes. So like that was getting kind of expensive. Then I started moving to, I'm going to make my own matcha. I'm going to buy the powder and I'm going to start making it from home. So now I do that. And now I've even reached out to some matcha places and say, hey, I'm the self-proclaimed matcha man. What can we do? I love matcha. You're a matcha company. I'm an athlete. How can we bridge that gap to make one wholesome matcha? I mean, I got it for the O-line. They didn't hate it. They actually liked it. A lot of guys liked it. But now I'm hoping this year, my goal will be to try to get matcha for the whole team. to try to get something like that. Because a lot of guys just haven't tried it. Like my man Baker, he hasn't even tried it yet. Wait till you try. You can't knock it till you try it. I know it looks weird.
No, I'm looking at our recipe right now. It looks pretty darn good. Yeah. So
but you can't just but also when people say matcha, you can't just say, hey, go to a cafe and be like, hey, let me get a matcha. And then that's it. It's like it's steps. You got to get the matcha with the oat milk, and then you got to get a sweetener. I like Oat Reliable. I like a strawberry matcha with oat milk. No other milk. I don't know what the other milks taste like. It might ruin the flavor for me personally. Oat milk. But I also like a mango matcha. I've also had a banana Biscoff matcha. I had a blueberry matcha too, which is also really good. Like I said, I can go on and on about matcha. Like me and matcha, we locked in. But yeah, I am the self-proclaimed matcha man. I'm moved up and I'm trying to see if I can collab and coexist with these matcha brands around Vancouver because there's so many great ones.
Yeah, I'm all in. Let's get out. We have the big smoothie station in Kamloops there. Let's set up some space there for some get a video going, and yeah, let's do it.
I want one of those like coupons where it's like if James Butler scores a touchdown, you get free matcha the next day for like 24 hours or something like that.
Anything. I'm telling you, it's the world. The world is our oyster when it comes to matcha, and it's so many health benefits. I don't know exactly, but I know. Caffeine, people like coffee. Matcha has caffeine. If you want to wake up, get a little energy boost, drink a matcha. So, and there's no crash in matcha like there is in coffee. But hey,
there you go.
I'm just a matcha man.
You've sold me. We're gonna try this.
Sure.
Love it, JB. Continued success. Glad that you've decided to stick around this winter because, again, like we're talking about, weather-wise, really, you can't beat it. Probably a little warmer than it is in Chicago right now, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is beautiful. You can't beat this.
So there you go. And we can't wait. Let's go Kamloops. It's going to be here before we know it. Appreciate you making the time, sir.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Gotcha. We will continue with JB's buddy Patrice Rene coming up. First and Now continues. We continue our little tour of hyping up the BC Lions and the excellent job we do as a club. Having a presence in the community, building better communities, and one of those who is front and center all throughout the offseason is BC Lions veteran Patrice Rene, special teams warrior for the club going into his 5th season. Patrice, how are you, sir? Good of you to join us.
Pretty good. Fantastic. It's an honor to be on the show with you guys, man. Super excited.
Yeah, we try to spread it around, and pretty much our goal is to get pretty much everyone on, and we're making a pretty good dent into that list. You're one of the more well-spoken guys on the team. We're kind of kicking ourselves here for waiting this long, Patrice.
Hey, man, as long as y'all had Jacob Bond, Jonah Tavai before me, I'm like, man, I'm just lucky to get on the set, man. That's all.
We just had that James Butler guy on for like the 3rd or 4th time. So yeah, we were due. So
hey, Bond is like Mr. Kelowna though. He's a popular guy.
Yeah, I love Jacob, man. He's a legend. I came to find out, as you know, that we were out in Kelowna. He's a local legend for sure.
So I haven't been to Kelowna in like 7-8 years. So when I get up there, I'm gonna have to do some name dropping, Jacob Bond and Okanagan's son, all that stuff. Well, my friend, just talk a bit more about your busy off season and how much pride do you take in being a community ambassador? Of course, you were in Kelowna doing Be More Than a Bystander, was it Energy Champions? I think it was with Sean White. How much are you enjoying that?
It's been a blast, man, and honestly, I think for me, I look at it as such a blessing to be a part of an organization like the BC Lions that do so much on the field, but also off the field. And that, allow the players the opportunity to get within those communities, go face to face with the fans, and at the same time, talk about some really important things, whether that's Be More Than a Bystander, Energy Champs, teaming up to end racism. So it's kind of like, hitting a whole bunch of different aspects into one thing where you get that local aspect, you get that community aspect, but you also get the aspect of actually making a difference and using your platform to make a change in society, which I think is wonderful. And I think for me, being a guy that's Canadian, having the opportunity to stay local, it's either that or back in Ontario where it's cold and snowy all the time. So I've chosen to pick the West Coast to spend most of my off season. And it's a day like today, it just makes makes it all worth it. But it's been a blast so far. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Patrice, you were saying you literally came back just now from 2 Be More Than a Bystander presentations, and we followed you guys around the past couple of seasons doing these presentations, and talk about how, for Energy Champs, the presentation is literally about energy, like being energetic, happiness, all those things, right? But then there's serious topics like Be More Than a Bystander. So when you're doing those Be More presentations, how do the kids react, and how do you kind of resonate with them with what you're speaking about?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because, like you mentioned, we do things like Energy Champions where, it's all about energy. It's more so elementary school kids. We're being, fun, energetic. And then you transition to our talks like Be More and then Team Up to End Racism. And those are more serious talks. And we talk to the high school kids. But I think for me, it's just understanding that, hey, this is the platform that I have. And this is the opportunity that I have to make a change and to talk about some very important things. Gender-based violence is not something that is an easy topic to talk about, but it needs to be talked about. The conversations need to be had. And I think for us with the team, what's great about it is, these kids look up to us a lot of times. They look up to us as role models, as people that, they're inspired by. And for them to have the opportunity to hear us talk about certain things and to be prideful in it, I think it helps deliver the message. So, we definitely have to be a little bit more serious when we're talking about those type of discussions when it comes to Be More and Teaming Up to End Racism. And that's something, too, the team really does a good job. We don't just go out there and just speak about things. Like we go through training, like we train for like 2 weeks on the stuff that we talk about, make sure, we got up to par with all the different, terminologies, concepts. So we're very much prepared to go out there and give those serious conversations for sure.
Transitioning, talking about preparation, off season, all those things, you're preparing for your 5th CFL season, 4th with the BC Lions. You feeling better than ever right now?
Yeah, this is a whole different, feeling for me in the sense of like, I'm kind of starting to feel the whole vet type of thing, rolling in where I've been there, done that a little bit. I kind of know what to expect. But at the same time, it's always that eagerness, right, to start a new season. And especially with what we have going on, what we have brewing on the team. Honestly, just so much excitement, so much eagerness to, even as we're training right now, we're getting after it. It's like, eyes on the prize. Like, is it June yet? Like, literally, like, we're ready to go, and we're just so excited with all the stuff that we have going on. So, I think for me, it's I'm kind of feeling, like a vet, but still as a rookie. In the same time, I'm just super excited to get back out there.
And we saw on your Instagram you had a pretty big milestone. You completed your degree at Rutgers. Is that correct? What? Talk about that.
That was kind of under wraps. So I left Rutgers back in 22. And I was in the middle of finishing my master's degree. But as I came to the league and started playing, it was really hard for me to kind of try to balance, being a rookie, school, and all these type of things. And then my first year in Winnipeg ended up getting injured for the year. So that was just hard to balance. So I ended up, falling a little bit behind when it came to my school. And I always, I was like, I had 2 classes to finish. And I was telling myself, I'm so close. I got to finish. I got to enroll back. And I actually enrolled back last May. So right when we started training camp, I had enrolled back to school. So I was taking summer classes all throughout training camp. Kept it low key, didn't really tell nobody about it, just to try to focus. And I was actually able to finish up and graduate last August. So I finally graduated last August, finished my 2 classes. I was able to get my degree. So super proud about that. Super excited. That's something that I wanted to do for quite some time. And it took me a little bit of time, but you know what? Better late than never. And hopefully, I could inspire the next generation of youth to make sure that they go get their degree as well.
And for our listeners who don't know, what exactly did you get your degree in, and what were you studying?
Yeah, so I graduated from the Rutgers School of Management and Labor Relations, and I got my master's in employment and labor relations specifically. So all that contract talk, union talks, CFLPA stuff, that's all that stuff I got into. So definitely knowledgeable about that.
Future PA president Patrice Rene has a pretty nice ring to it, but you got many years of playing still, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, sounds good. And my boy David Mackey got that on lock right now. I don't want no smoke, Mackey. If you hear this, man, you all good, baby.
There won't be a by-election anytime soon. Hey, a big theme, and you're going to get asked about it, so might as well continue with it. Just how close this team got to getting over the hump in Saskatchewan. How much do you use that to fuel you in your off-season training?
Oh, honestly, that's something that you can't it's hard to forget. And as a competitor, it definitely leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But I think what's special about our team and where we ended the season last year is, if you really think about it, we're a new team, new coaching staff, new players. We're just trying to all figure it out. And as the year progressed, you saw us, it got to a point where we're like, man, we got to lock in, or else, our playoff hosts might be a little, they might get away from us for a little bit. And you saw us as a team really get close and really put everything aside and understand that, hey, this is bigger than us as individuals. Like, this is bigger than us as, just players. Like, we need to turn the leaf and turn things around. And you saw us just put our heads down and grind and go to practice every day. And before you knew it, we won 7 games in a row. And we finally felt like we got it to click. And that last game in Sask, we were doing pretty good for the most part of the game until, the very last minute where things kind of fell apart for us. But, we have that feeling of, man, we got it. We finally figured it out. We finally know, how to play together. We finally could know, the type of players, their tendencies, and know each other, the coaches. And I think we're definitely upset about how things ended, but we're also so eager to get right back at it because we know exactly how special this team could be.
Hey, that secondary is looking pretty good too. Hey, you got GP back, TJ's back, Jamal Parker just signed.
I mean, we just signed Jamal today. Actually, he had called me a little bit early in the week saying that it was a possibility that he might end up coming in here, but today it got finalized. But you mentioned bringing guys back like GP, TJ, just all across the board. That's something I definitely want to give a shout out to the people upstairs, Riggs and Neil and all them, and Coach Bug, because that's one thing that, as the players last year we talked about on our exit meetings, was just having the idea of, building on what we started, having that culture, having the core guys that, could build that culture and sustain that. And they did a really good job, man, listening in the sense of, bringing the guys back that we felt that were culture guys, that nucleus of guys that we're able to build upon. So having guys back like TJ, GP, Sione, Jonah, Hatch, all those guys on the offensive side of the ball, JB, all those guys that really understand what it takes to win here. And it's magnificent, man. It's great. And we're super excited to keep that ball rolling.
Being an Ottawa guy, we got to bring this up. So you and Brady Tkachuk, you guys have a bond, but please tell me you were crushed on Sunday morning when Team Canada lost to Team USA. Or what's going on?
Devastated. The funny thing about that, Nick, we were following the semis and the quarters right before that while we were on our trip, and we're all super into it. And then once we found out what the finals was going to be, I was super excited. But then the game was going to be at 5. I think it was like 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning on our time, so super early. And I actually slept through my alarm, unfortunately. And I remember I was like, I have to watch this game. I was telling my friends, I got to watch this game. And then by the time I woke up, I kind of realized what had happened. So then I was like, oh, man. And then I actually found out by going on my Instagram and seeing Brady repost some stuff. He was kind of gloating a little bit, just super excited. I mean, all love to him. He deserves it. But I kind of shot him a message and said, okay, way to go. But we're going to we definitely owe them one. But it's tough. That's our game. That's what we're known for. But the boys they fought hard all throughout the games. They did what they were supposed to do. And, it's any given day. When it comes to the Olympics, stuff like that, you get that one shot, and then they just so happened to the U.S. got the better of us that day.
That they did. That's it. I mean, we can talk about hockey being our game, but the bottom line is a lot of these other countries are right there now. And you know what? It sucks losing to the Americans, but it's good for the sport as well. Good for entertainment. All right, Patrice, again, it's unfortunate it took us this long to get you, but it won't take us another 150 or so episodes. We will do this again very soon. Perhaps we will do it in season. And continued success, and good on you for being a great community ambassador.
I appreciate y'all, man. Super honored to have to be on this platform, and I'm holding y'all to this. So I will see y'all around. So hopefully I'm back on soon.
We can't hide. You know where to find us. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate y'all, man. Take care. Have a good day.
First and now, final segment. Go for it or punt to come. A lot of ground covered today, and it's definitely exciting times, as the next time we do one of these will be in March already, believe it or not, Nick.
Yeah,
so
busy off season, right? I think March maybe is the slowest period, but On the business side of things, it's kind of when you transition into the upcoming season, it's all things go, right? With sales, building up promotional marketing items, right? So I like this time of year. It's sort of when you think about what's on the horizon, and then obviously it's when you realize that the horizon is closer than you think it is. So it's coming.
And reminder, Thursday, 10 a.m., the 26th, single game tickets for the 2 games in Touchdown, Kelowna. Presented by Okanagan College. Before we go for it and punt, trivia time. What do we have here?
Yes, we're still holding on to the Super Bowl because my question here, and I'm not expecting you to get all of these names, and if you did, I will be very, very impressed. But 27 Canadians have played in a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I want to see how many you can rattle off here.
27 Canadians have played in a Super Bowl. Well, we have to start with our pal at TSN, Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson is correct. 2014 was his first one.
Mitch Berger from my hometown of North Delta.
That is correct.
Pittsburgh Steelers champion. Right one. Oh, man, I don't know if do we have time to try to think of all 27? I can give you some hints.
I want to see how many you can get, too.
Yeah.
The most recent one was 2025.
So this past year or last year?
2 years.
Brown.
Sidney Brown
with the Eagles.
Eagles defensive back, brother of Chase Brown.
Yeah, eventually if you go to years, maybe I can go. But let me think. No, the Dallas Cowboys had a kicker named Eddie Murray.
In 1994? Yeah, you're correct.
He was from Victoria, was he not?
That's a great pull. I don't know. I don't know some of these names either.
Buffalo Bills had a kicker around the same time from Oakville, Ontario, Steve Christie.
There you go, 1993.
How cool is that? Oakville, Ontario, former home of Nathan Rourke.
Nathan Rourke, yeah.
Wonder if those two ever cross paths.
You got a bunch of Rams, though, 2022.
Yeah. Alaric Jackson, BC Lions draft pick.
2022. Yeah. He's with the Rams.
What's the oldest one? I'm curious here.
1975, he was a kicker for Pittsburgh.
Jarella.
Yeah.
Roy Jarella?
Yeah, he went to 3 straight. Yeah.
Brother of Ted Jarella, who kicked for the BC Lions.
Yeah, see, that's the one degree of separation that I'm talking about. It's all there.
Football is football, man. Okay, who we missing here?
There's a guy in Seattle that's quite
John
famous.
Ryan.
John Ryan.
We spent some time with him at the bar at the Hotel Sask last year, did we not?
You got an offensive lineman who plays in the CFL right now, actually. 2020, he went there with the Chiefs. I didn't know this, actually. Plays out east.
So he would have beaten my Niners.
He's won an award in the CFL, offensive lineman. He's been
currently in the CFL?
Yep. He was I don't know why my mind goes to this, but he was involved in one of the scooter incidents last year.
Oh, yeah. What team's he on now?
He's on Toronto right now. Caught a touchdown last year. Here's a good hint. It's another great hint for who this is.
I'm drawn up. Who is it?
Ryan Hunter. Was on the Kansas City Chiefs.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. But yeah, Ryan Hunter.
Scooter incident, of course.
Yeah, that's where my mind went.
How many have we rattled off here?
You have not 1, many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. That's pretty good.
So we're about a third of the way there.
There's some names that they're tough though. There was a Stampeders offensive lineman. Oh, there's another BC Lions receiver who you're missing in the 2010s.
Who played in a Super Bowl?
Yep. I like this guy a lot.
Oh,
kind of a what could have been.
Sean Gore?
Nope.
No.
Think of my fandom.
Your fan? Okay, so
the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh,
he was a good receiver. He was decent for the Lions too, but he was really
Austin
good.
Collie.
Austin Collie, yeah.
Played here in 2015.
Yeah, so he played.
Is he a Canadian though? I know he qualified as a national, but
I did get this list from 3 Down Nation.
So there you go. And I love 3 Down Nation. Okay, we've had JC, we've had Dunk. Hodge is a good guy, but Alex Singleton's not Canadian. He was born and raised in Thousand Oaks, California. Was he not?
The end all be all. Wikipedia, Hamilton, Ontario.
Okay,
Austin Collie.
All right,
so it's official.
Okay, and we love the 3 Down guys. They're great ambassadors to the 3 Down game. But Alex Singleton never played in the Super Bowl. He was a game away this year, but that's just the example I'm going with. So.
I think he might get on this list though sooner than later. With
the way
the Broncos and Brett Zolan are going.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Brett Zolan.
You got a doctor from Kansas City. This
Laurent Tardif. What's his name? Yeah,
Duvernay Tardif. Yeah,
yep, of
he
course.
Played in 2020.
I should have thought about him with Kansas City in 2020. Off the
Another
top.
good 1 degree of separation. You have a brother of a BC Lion who just retired.
A brother of a BC Lion who just retired.
tight end. He was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2021, who beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So he was a champion as well.
Initials.
AA.
Eau Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his brother Anthony.
Anthony Eau Claire.
played.
Yeah.
There's a guy, another guy with the Rams. He's on the Bills now. Kind of a hybrid player. Defensive player.
Now we're really getting
in the weeds, but I'll just start listing these. Michael Hoyt, I think is how you say his last name.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't have got him.
He's Orlando Franklin is another name. Sean Schwesham, kicker, quick.
Oh, I just thought of one. Was he on? So this was a player who wasn't born in Canada, but he attended South Delta High School. He's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. Harold Hasselback, was he on the 3-down list?
He's not on that list.
See, and that's one I keep mentioning because I remember NFL Canada. NFL Canada did a list of Canadians who have won the Super Bowl, and they always leave him off. I think he was born in the Netherlands, but he was
correct.
So my point is, if someone like Austin Collie can be considered Canadian, so should the late Harold Hasselback.
Interesting. Yeah, that's not on that list.
South Delta High School. Look it up.
Here's one name I really like. Israel Adonijah.
Oh, yeah. Him? Yeah. Chicago Bears. University of Manitoba Bisons.
Yep. Dan Federkyle. He was offensive lineman for the Calgary Stampeders.
Okay.
He played for he was in the Indianapolis Colts when they beat the Chicago Bears.
A guy who we've had on this podcast, Glenn Young. Did they have Glenn Young?
Glenn Young's not on this list.
Well, we had him on. He talked about playing in the Super Bowl.
And where's his birth? Scarborough, yeah?
Yeah.
So there you go. So this list, there's a lot of names. Mark Rippon's another name on this list.
Oh,
quarterback. So
yeah.
A lot of good names, though. Tom Nutton, O.J. Santiago.
O.J. Santiago with Atlanta, was he not?
In 1999.
Okay.
So there's a bunch more names. Ken Clark from 1980. He was a punter. We're getting really in the weeds here. Alan Kennedy.
Kyle Nelson, does he count?
Kyle Nelson does not count. But where was Kyle Nelson born? Was he born in Calgary?
No, he was born in Oklahoma, I think. He qualifies as a national because his father was
Mark Nelson,
in Canada,
yes.
So
I always love when we were in Montreal and there's the crowd shot of Mark Nelson in the crowd.
Again, sorry. Alex Singleton is called Canadian, but not... Right?
It's a bit of a loophole.
Anyway.
Yeah. But there you go.
Next time we get JC on, we're going to
grill him about this list.
Because it's all his doing, obviously. So.
Glenn Young is a name that probably is elusive there, linebacker coach.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Okay, we're going to go. That was a good one. We did okay there.
I thought, you know what? Where's a Super Bowl connection? It's not too late. So
how many other guys could name Eddie Murray with the Dallas Cowboys?
That was a great poll.
Come on. All right, go for it or punt. Why don't you lead this off?
Well, the UFL is literally going for it with their new rules. And I think I like these rules. I was checking them out today when they announced them this morning. And what I'm alluding to is that one of these new rules is that you're not allowed to punt to the football within the 50-yard line. If you're on the opposition side of the field, you cannot punt. And here's what I like too, because I had this question. If you get, say you're on the 49 on the opposition and you have a 20-yard loss, like you get sacked and it's 20-yard loss, you can still not punt. So it really puts an emphasis. You cannot lose yards right around that area. They also eliminated the tush push. Found that very interesting.
Not surprised.
1 foot in bounds. So that's a CFL
like
rule.
The CFL.
UFL's adopting. I like that. It just creates more offense, right? 3 attempts per team in overtime. There's a new 3-point conversion after a touchdown where if you can elect to have the ball at the 8-yard line and go for 3 points. So I just like that. It's just different scoring, right? And
the 4 points for the 60-yard field goals.
Yes,
I like.
That's another one I missed. Maybe
and then didn't the XFL 2020 do something similar with 3-pointers? Like you could attempt one from the 10-yard line and go for 3 points.
Yes. So it's right along those lines too, right? And obviously Commissioner Stuart Johnston is making a lot of changes here to enhance offense in the league, and you're seeing the UFL do the same thing. So the thoughts are in the right baskets, right? And I think I like these rules overall. The tush push is one I'm like a little iffy about because we've seen teams like the Buffalo Bills literally get eliminated because of their failures to execute a tush push, right? So it's not automatic. I think it's more about the personnel, alluding to the Philadelphia Eagles, but interesting stuff there. So
yeah, and the not punting inside opponent's territory, they're onto something. You see all these coaches now going for more 4th downs in the NFL, and the kicking has gotten so good, you see them try 65-yard field goals, right? Instead of punting on fourth down.
Exactly.
So maybe they're onto something here. I'm going to go with patriotism on full display. And during the Olympics, right? We haven't talked about it, but of course, Canada losing in the gold medal game. You see the Americans getting all excited and stuff, as they should. They deserve to. But just the whole 2 weeks and having them on and getting out my 2010 Olympic gear that I don't wear too much. You were away, but we had a bit of a viewing party in the downtown office for the Canada-Switzerland game, their second game of the men's tournament. They did the same thing for the women's gold. I did not attend that one. But just something about the Winter Olympics being on and the wave of patriotism. And when that Sam Roberts CBC intro hit at 5 a.m. on my TV on Sunday, it's the hair standing up on your neck a little bit. It's great stuff.
So we were talking about this off camera. I realized I missed that intro because I set my alarm to like 5:07. When I turned on the TV, the puck was pretty much dropping, but we got up.
And we know how strict the IOC and the broadcasters are with sharing the content. I wasn't able to find it on YouTube to watch it again, so I went to my DVR last night and said, just the montage of Crosby scoring and McDavid scoring in the Four Nations, Mario Lemieux in 87. Great stuff. It's just too bad they couldn't add another one to the collection.
Yeah, as much as the outcome sucked with Canada losing, I thought it was such a good tournament in terms of the ice hockey. Overall, the Olympics were great too. One of the women's ski jumpers, I was watching it live when she got gold, and I thought that was a really cool moment because she was the underdog too. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, like you said, feeling your patriotism when it goes to rooting for your country, right? It's fun. It's only every 4 years, and you see how much it means to the athletes and their families and everything. So a lot of cool moments. I got really dialed into on my trips. I was waking up at 7:40. I think the start times were. I was waking up and I was watching them in bed. First thing you do. So kind of sad that it's over, but it's a good dosage of like watching the bobsled. Right. Shout out to Lucas Stoikos and Shaq Mary Lawrence.
Yeah, and we watched one of those days downtown. A different day they were in the 2-man and ultimately fell short of the podium in both the 2-man and the 4-man. And interviewed Shaquille Murray Lawrence on this show a couple of years ago when he was qualifying for 2022 in Beijing. So another very cool angle of the Olympic Games for sure. All right, what are we punting?
So when you go to a public washroom and they're all like sensors now for the sinks and the hand towels and all that, when they don't work properly, and it's always, especially when you're in like a crowded washroom, like say you're at like an arena or something like that, and the sensors aren't working and you have people waiting behind you, I'm punting that. Like, I know it's technology and sometimes it's going to falter, but it drives me nuts. It happened to me at a hotel this past week, and there are 2 people behind me waiting for me to wash my hands, and I'm trying to get the soap right, and they won't come out of the sensor, and it drives me crazy. So, but I on a same kind of washroom etiquette note, washrooms with a paper towel drying option. So, they have like those little like Dyson, like air dryers, but I'm all cool with that, saving the environment, all that. But I like having the option. So if they have both, I'm going for that. So
yeah, huge.
That's my washroom etiquette moments here on this show.
Yeah, like sometimes you get the sensor ones and the timing's all off. Yeah, and it's like, how long do I got to frickin' stick my hand into this thing? It's like a game
almost. It's like just like the old fashioned soap.
Yeah, I know. All right, there's a story to go with mine here, and going downtown a bit more, taking the SkyTrain more. This is a very big problem in society. The people who are watching, listening, or talking to someone on their phone without earphones or earbuds and forcing everyone else to listen to it. So I'm at the gym the other day. I'm trying to get to the gym in the morning now. 6:30 a.m. I try to be in. It's trying to be disciplined, Buddy on the machine next to me, this was after the gold medal game. To get my rage out, I decided to go to the gym. It was still 9 in the morning. I had the whole day ahead of me. So Buddy on the machine next to me, he's watching CNN without headphones. And I'm listening to my music with my things, and then I can still kind of hear him.
It's the worst.
So about every 2 minutes, I'm kind of just looking over at him, kind of giving him the F are you doing, guy? And he never looked to the side, just stayed focused. And eventually he had a college basketball game on his phone. And it's just like, What happened to people being considerate is all I'm saying. I can't stand the people who do that.
No, it's the worst on the SkyTrain, because usually the SkyTrain's loud because they're on a train on metal tracks.
Yeah.
So it's loud to begin with. So if you're trying to listen to something, whether it's a podcast, you listen to a First and Now, somebody could be doing that right now, and they could be somebody bothering them because they're playing their music out loud, right? And you don't want to listen, or you don't want to miss a second of First and Now, right? So
well, that's obvious. Yes.
So yeah, I'm totally on you with that one. It's bad etiquette. Stop.
But we can't avoid it.
Cut it out.
It's 2026, and it's
Well, none of our listeners will be doing it because that's we're enforcing that right now.
PSA, we're punting you. Yes. All right. Well, this has been good. First and Now coming to an end. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. And we encourage you, whether it's Apple, Spotify, what have you, Google, please leave us a review, rate, review, all of that. And to those watching on YouTube, we commend your continued support. It's been a pleasure doing this for 5 years and counting now, episode 156. Thursday, 10 a.m., Kelowna, Touchdown Kelowna, tickets starting at $50. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk more about the upcoming 2026 season.
We will see you in March.
All right. As Moj would say, be safe. And we're back in 2 weeks on First and Now.